Hello, and thank you for tuning in to The Gab Show. As we're getting ready for another amazing show, I just wanted to take a minute and introduce the team. I'm April Setti, the producer. We have Devin and Mark working behind the scenes, making magic happen. And then everybody loves George, our station manager. Central New Jersey Network has many shows besides us, of course, The Gab Show. And I encourage you to visit our website at cnjn.org to find our list of other shows. And in fact, we have an archive of past episodes to entertain you. The exciting news is you can stream local TV on your television, computer, or phone by simply downloading our CNJN app on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or Apple TV. We even air on local cable channels of Verizon Fios and Comcast. And if you visit our website, again at cnjn.org, you just click here to navigate the downloads. Central New Jersey Network is working really hard to bring hyper-local community TV to you. Being in between New York and Philadelphia, we just kind of got tired of not being able to find local news about the people, destinations, and resources that are right in our own backyard. So while we're getting ready to go live, do me a favor, tell your friends, and you can also share onto your social media pages this very show right now. And again, thank you for watching The Gab Show. And as they say, enjoy the show.
Thank you for tuning in to the Gab Show. Today we have our returning recurring host, Tide Robinson. Welcome back. And my co-host, Melissa Tenzer. I am Gabby Johnson. Today the show is packed with great news about our community, from feeding the people that are hungry out there and going to find and spot celebrity into Princeton, as well as all kinds of good things about Thanksgiving. Melissa.
We are so glad you're tuning in. We are so excited to have a great show for you. We have Sasa Alessi Montano from Meals on Wheels of Mercer County joining us today. Her story is so wonderful. She has been in the community for so many years, helping great organizations, working with the Y of Trenton. She also does a lot of county initiatives. She serves on many boards like Rescue Mission, to name one, and she also does state work. But Meals on Wheels caught her interest, and her expertise was so needed at Meals on Wheels of Mercer County, because now more than ever, there are so many hungry adults and elderly people in the community. And not only does Meals on Wheels of Mercer County go and drop off these meals, they have the conversations with the people. It might be the only touch that those individuals that are getting a meal have for the whole week, because as you get older, you become more isolated. And the Meals on Wheels volunteers and individuals make the day of people there. So my father volunteered for Meals on Wheels for 20 years. Wow. And we're just excited to have you.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for being here.
It's an honor. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes.
Very, very exciting for us. Just a kind of a news flash. April of next year, we will be 50 years old, serving the community of Mercer County. We started with 4 meals in April 1973, and we're around 100,000 meals a year now. So it's very exciting.
So Sasa, what is the biggest reward of doing what you are doing?
I have to say, I feel blessed every single day. First of all, that we are able to serve these homebound participants that, as Melissa said, 60% live alone.
Yes.
So the volunteer is the only person they see that day. And I like to say, we serve nutrition for the body and the soul. The meal is the 50%. The other 50% is that touch. So it's amazing to serve this population that is so grateful every single day. Then there are the volunteers. We have around 300 volunteers, active volunteers. We got as high as almost 600 during COVID. And they show up every day, rain, shine, snow, heat, doesn't matter. They're, with their own cars, their own resources to serve people in their own backyard, people sometimes that they've never met, they didn't know, and they become their extended family. So how can you not love my job? I mean, the volunteers, and then I have to give a shout out to my staff, the most amazing staff in Mercer County. They are just committed, giving, kind. You know, that's important. They touch these seniors every single day because the seniors call. We have our people that call every day, you know, when is our meal coming? And we have to reassure them and be kind and patient. So I can't say enough. And then the committed board that we have, the best board I've ever had. And I'm just, you know, I love what I do.
And 85%, that's a big number to
subsidize.
To subsidize.
You know, my board is very committed to turn no one away and have no waiting lists. It's one of the reasons that, you know, our federal grant only covers about 25% of our budget. It's one of the reasons donations are very, very important. Individual donations are amazing corporate and foundational sponsors that support us. Without that, we couldn't have this policy. So anybody that's 60 and above that qualifies, which means basically they're homebound, they can't cook or shop for themselves, they get a meal on the community's dime, you know, with the support of everybody that gives.
Sasa, I noticed when I was doing some research, I went on the website and there was like 3 things that Meals on Wheels of Mercer County really needed. I know one is volunteers. Talk to us a little bit about some of the other things that you need and how you're getting volunteers, because I know all the charities that you and I work with together, we're all struggling with after COVID, people not feeling comfortable coming back and being outside, but at least they're outside delivering the meals compared to sometimes being in.
Well, it's interesting, Melissa. I don't like to say that COVID was kind to anybody, but the fact that COVID shed a light on our population, on the senior population, that really increased our ranks of volunteers. We got up as high as almost 600 volunteers.
Wow.
Many people came for many different reasons, you know, because they realized that seniors needed the help and they wanted to do something during COVID. They simply wanted to get out of the house, and this was an opportunity for them to give back. But it's normal that now that everybody's going back to their lives, you know, our population that was basically invisible before, now, you know, we've all gone through now social isolation, right? We all understand what that is.
Yes.
Our seniors were socially isolated before. They are now, and they're going to continue to be. So just think about that for a minute, what that feels like.
It is an awful feeling. I have older parents, really older, and they're housebound right now. And I must say that the whole aura, if you wish, or the whole spirit of that person is completely changing because they can't move as they were moving before.
And especially they recognize that physically they may be deteriorating, but mentally they're still, you know,
and that's what they say. They say, oh, we are no good anymore. The young people don't want to hear about us anymore. You know?
I know.
Yeah.
And so it's really important, you know, we need volunteers. Please, if you're interested in volunteering, please give us a call, 609-695-3483, or go to our website, mealsonwheelsmercer.org. We really do need to continue to need volunteers.
Can I ask, when it comes to volunteering, what's like the commitment? Like, how can you volunteer? You know, we're all working, we're all doing different things. But we want to help.
Yeah, so that's a good question, because our time to deliver is between 10 and noon. And most of the time, people are in school, they're working, although there are corporations that do give people an opportunity to go and volunteer, which is right. If you work, please check with your place of business, because they may give you an opportunity. So it's typically young retirees, 65 and older, that have that time. But the commitment typically, if you can, once a week. You can do it twice a month, but the thing is, again, it speaks to that relationship between the volunteer and the person they serve.
They get to know
They get to know them, and they miss them if they don't come. You know,
they deliver to the same person.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So really, you are establishing effectively that emotional tie to that person.
Exactly
It is amazing.
I have a quick story to tell you. My father, as I said, volunteered for 20 years, and one time, and he was once a week, sometimes twice a week for all of those years. One time he went to visit one of his seniors, and they were stuck in their backyard, and they were stuck on, I don't remember the story exactly, if it was a tract or something, where they were caught on the side, and they had been out there for hours because because their son that lived with them went to work, and he was one that called 911. And if he did not come to deliver the meal and go out back and see, like, where nobody would have
Melissa,
known.
I'm so glad you brought that
it's
up.
emergency situations.
This summer,
only check on that.
This summer, we saved 3 lives. One was an example when the volunteer got there, they couldn't get in. They found somebody to get in. The gentleman had put his heat on in the heat of the summer, up to 95 degrees instead of the. We saved his life. That's an example. So
that's so important to check once a week, and it's also that touch to save someone's life. I feel like my dad did. His son would have come home. He saved his life. It may have been too late.
That's right.
So how do the meals are prepped?
Yes. So we are we're very blessed. We work with Rider University, a terrific partner. Yes, I know. Yep, that's me too. Well, you should be so proud. They prepare the meals out of Daily Dining Hall, and our volunteers go there every morning at 10 to pick them up. It has been an amazing partnership, so committed. The president from day one, the day I asked him, yes, we're doing this. So he understood the value to the students as well, because they're involved in meal prep and things like that. And it really upped our game in terms of the nutrition. We really are able to provide different sorts of nutritious meals, like therapeutic meals, renal meals, people that have, all our meals are no sodium added and no sugar, because elderly people many times have diabetes, heart issues. So we really try to tailor them to their needs.
So talking about needs and health issues, so do you really cater down, like if a person has a specific condition, say my food cannot have that in it.
Right. So it is self-reported. We don't work with their doctors, but we work with them. So if, like I said, if they have diabetes and heart, right off the bat, our meals take care of that. But we have different, like if they can't chew, we can chop them, we can puree them. If they are on dialysis, we have a special renal meal. If they can't have certain citrus because of medication, we can do that. So we really try to work with them to make sure that their diet is, and for us, success, people don't think about this, but for us, success is remaining on the program for a long time. And we've had people for 10 years. The point is to keep people in their homes, in the place that they've lived for 50 years sometimes, with dignity and healthy for as long as possible.
So your numbers are very high. I didn't realize that you serve so many, houses and people. What area do you cover with that amount of people?
So we serve 8 municipalities in Mercer County, our northern, East Windsor, West Windsor, Hightstown, and Princeton, and then the southern areas, certain parts of Hamilton, Trenton, Ewing, Lawrence, and we cover about 93% of the county. So it's the ability to reach our seniors. We try to get the word out there. People know us. We're a brand, so we don't really have to do a lot of outreach, because people come to us, home health aides, hospitals, doctors, they themselves, they call, I don't feel comfortable cooking anymore. I can't shop for myself. So we get referrals from all over.
What will be the alternative if they weren't delivered that meal? What is the alternative for them?
Well, in 1973, when they started the program, they realized that seniors, because they were invisible in their home alone, they were dying of malnutrition. I guess I don't need to say much that, but right, exactly. But the other thing is that it becomes, neighbors start stepping up, and they go into long-term care. We all know that if seniors go into long-term care, they don't last very long.
They don't.
No.
Right. And so, being able to keep them aging in place is our goal. And healthy aging in place.
Right.
So I have a question for you. As we talked about earlier, you've done a lot of nonprofit work, and I noticed that you have done stuff for Meals on Wheels National.
Yes.
What made you stay with this organization when you've done so much in the community? And tell us what you learned from National, and what the vision is for National, and also for the chapter here, what you've learned that you've given to National that was
Melissa,
a keepsake.
So. I was fortunate. I'd only been the CEO for like a year when I got on the national board, and that was amazing to see the national perspective. There are about 5,000 programs across the country. About 1,200 are affiliates of our national. And when I say that, it's important because really anybody could set up a Meals on Wheels program. We don't really even own our name, but we are were small in church basements, no paid staff, to multi-million-dollar organizations like City Meals in New York, and all shapes and sizes. Some just serve urban, some just serve rural. So, we're all different, but what we have the same is a warm meal delivered by a friendly face. And that could be a volunteer or it could be a paid driver. But those two things are really what unify us. So I'll tell you though, Melissa, it's the healthcare landscape is changing, and so keep helping, being part of National, being affiliated with National helps keep us, abreast of everything that's going on, and the advocacy at the national level for that funding that we get, that federal funding that every state gets, is crucial. So having the National Association do that for us is really important.
So I have another question. We were talking a little earlier about how you get volunteers to help deliver the meals, and you get donations from folks, volunteers.
Yeah.
You are a 501c.
Right.
How or can someone who donates, could their corporation participate in that donation? Is there a match program, and how would someone do that?
We absolutely take corporate match. We get them all different ways. Sometimes a person sends in a form with their donation, or they do it online and we get notifications. So matching gifts are really important, but just generally, we're going through a difficult economic time now, and we are suffering just like every other nonprofit. Our donations are down. And so we just want to get the message out there. Don't forget about the seniors in your community. Your donation goes directly to support their meals. I mean, 54% of our budget is just food costs, and those costs are increasing.
Oh, they sure.
Yes,
definitely.
as we all know.
See that at the grocery store,
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can imagine. And for seniors, their income is becoming smaller and smaller by comparison. So those subsidies, that ability to not have to worry about, well, am I going to pay my medicine or my doctor or my friend, or am I going to eat? They don't have to worry about that. And we feed their pets too. Just well, we know pets are very important in the life of a senior, especially if you're alone.
Yes.
So we have a free pet food program.
Right.
And so if they have a pet, we support them. So
that is very good to know. I did not know that
So
part.
that they eat their own food and they don't feed the animal.
Yeah, that's right.
Think
They
about
love their
it. If
pets.
that's
They
the
gotta
only
feed
living
them.
person
Yes.
or entity,
Contact,
right?
Yeah.
You're going to
That's
feed
their
that
friend.
pet.
That's now you say you talked about rider prepping
Yes.
the meals, but do you see like younger generation coming and support, and how and if they do, where?
That's a great question, because the younger generation, I call this generation the one that has been brought up with community service, right? They've been doing community service since they were, toddlers, and they understand that. But they sometimes forget that we still need boots on the ground. We still need someone to physically deliver. We're fortunate that we have some good relationships with TCNJ, with Ryder. Those students, the Bonners, the Bonner leaders are great. They deliver. So when we can kind of hone that message that, great, you want to do a Facebook fundraiser. Great, you want to, but think about that delivery. That's really, that touch is really, and it also, not just that, but social media kind of keeps people. So the fact that they will see a senior, and the seniors love young people. They love them.
They do.
They love them. So, if you can find that time in your schedule, please call us.
My
We'll
daughter
set
did
you up.
volunteer for Meals on Wheels, and it was an elderly gentleman where he couldn't come out, he wasn't mobile at all, and they actually had to rope it up and pull up the
We've
food,
done
which
that. Yeah.
I couldn't believe that when
Yes.
she told me. I said, "Are you sure?
Yes,
Take a picture."
that's it.
It was actually roping it up, and she did it.
We
with
put it
her
in a
puppy,
basket
Put it in a
and-
basket, and it goes right up to that.
We will get them their
That's
meal.
pretty
I don't know
cool.
what, no matter what.
My daughter
No
did it for
matter
many
what.
years, and she was
Yeah.
fascinated by that. She told me, I said, "Are you sure?"
Yes.
So it was the coolest
Yep.
thing, and it was really one of her first.
That
We can use
volunteering.
drones.
Yes, right. Now that'll be the future
Now
of
it's
Meals on
drone,
Wheels.
right?
Right.
That
No
is right.
volunteers will
Drone
use
to
a
go
drone.
up there.
Yeah.
Fly it
That
over
was
there.
really
That
nice.
could be now that
would
is
help
an
our
idea,
volunteers.
right?
Yeah, that'd
But
work
no
out.
human contact.
I
though.
know.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It does defeat that purpose.
That
But
did
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it could
In
help.
rare cases, you need to do what you need to do to get the people fed, and so
That's
that
right.
was one of those rare cases.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sure they
Nice.
appreciated it.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself? Like you talked earlier when we were behind camera, that it's been 9 years,
Yes.
right?
I know.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So you?
I just love my job. I
Right.
just love it. I never thought I would stay this long. I like to have lots of balls in the air, doing everything, but I just realized there's so much. Meals on Wheels has so much and so much potential, especially in Mercer County. When I started, we were serving 35,000 meals, and now we're close to 100,000 meals. Wow. So we were serving 2 municipalities, now we're serving 8. So that ability to grow and create as a professional, you know, that's very exciting and enticing. So, and I have a great board that supports me. So I hope to be here a little bit longer.
I really love it.
Yeah. So how about other people in the community that you work with? I know you and I sit on the social impact board together. Or do you feel that being in the community and understanding all of the nonprofits that you've partnered with has led you to mentor other people? Because I know you always have a big voice, and that's why you're here today. We're so happy to have you. But a voice that really is nurturing and mentoring to other people. So talk a little bit about that with other community partners.
I try because I've worked in the nonprofit world, I've worked in government, and I've also worked in education. And so having that perspective, you know, we interact with all those entities in the nonprofit world. So I relish when we all get together and we all have things to bring to the table. So I really, really enjoy that role in the community. And if I can ever help, and I also like students, mentoring students, working with them to open their eyes a little bit, because they come in with certain ideas about nonprofit and they realize, oh my God, I've never seen people work so hard. I'm like, yeah, we work really hard here. So, you know, it's
a perfect example of the College of New Jersey.
Exactly. So thank you for that, Melissa. I love working with you.
Thank you.
Now, the holiday season is approaching.
Yes, it is.
Is anything changing at Meals on Wheels?
So a very exciting initiative that we've had, we worked 5 years with the Trenton Kiwanis Club, and they bring different partners. They actually deliver on Thanksgiving Day. We're closed. I give my staff that day off. But they actually deliver. We send out a flyer. They participants tell us if they're going to be home, and they deliver on that day. And they have very short routes, so they're able to spend more time with the people on Thanksgiving Day. Yes, because typically our routes are anywhere from 8 to 15, depending on if it's a building or if it's individual homes. So we work with them, give them short routes, and they're volunteers from all over. If you're interested, you can give us a call and we'll send you the information. But it is Thanksgiving Day. That's very, very exciting.
Beautiful.
And then Christmas week, we always try to give extra meals. We have a restaurant meal program on Fridays where they get tastes of real restaurant foods for the weekends.
Nice.
So that's a little, different from the regular meal during the week, a little treat. So it's great.
It's nice
it's
that really restaurants participate.
Yes.
That's an amazing program.
Yeah.
So can I ask another question, because I still am very impressed at how long you've been around and also how many people you've served and you've grown. So if you could, what do you see for like the future? Like you're in, you said 8 municipalities.
Yes.
Do you see yourself growing beyond that? And what's your capacity?
Our capacity is endless because we have that policy, and we try to have reserves so that we can always meet that policy and not turn anyone away. So when we started, as I said, there were some independent programs that came to us and said, we'd like to be part of your umbrella. So we're here. If other programs want to join us, or if they don't, we're fine. We're here to support whatever initiatives there are in the community. But we definitely want to grow our fresh fruit and vegetable program. More and more seniors want that. We've started that as a pilot, maybe a mobile pantry for our seniors with some basic staples. So we're kind of working on that. And we're going to do our first annual pet walk next year to support the seniors with their pets. So stay tuned for our 50 years. That's going to be our kind of our project.
I like the mobile unit.
Definitely let us know about
that. That is right. And our seniors could use some basic staples. We're working a lot of exciting things.
Thank you for that.
So the pet work will be like the pets.
It's going to be in May. And it will be people with their pets that can walk, and the funds raised will be specifically for seniors and their pets, for those that we serve.
Well, make sure you let us know about that when it happens. Welcome, Pat.
Definitely will.
Sasa, before we roll out, give us your handle, your phone number.
Yes, it's again 609-695-3483. And then our website is mealsonwheelsmercer.org. And there is a page there. If you want to sign up to be a volunteer, go to that page. You can click on the link there and it'll tell you everything that you need to know. So we welcome you to our Meals on Wheels family. Please join us.
So Thanksgiving coming around. What is going to be your Thanksgiving in your house?
Oh my gosh. So I want to get together with my daughters. I do that. I have two daughters. One is married. One will be married soon. Another one. So yes, we just get to be with my family.
That's amazing.
Favorite
What
dish?
I love. Oh my gosh. So my husband took over the chestnut stuffing that my grandfather used to make. So we look forward to that every year. And so we're hoping to groom our new son-in-law to eventually take that over. So that will be, and I tend to make the turkey. I enjoy doing that.
Well, all of your participants have so much to be thankful for. You do such great work. So thank you for being
Melissa.
here, Sasa.
Thank you guys so much
Happy
for the
Thanksgiving.
opportunity. Same
Happy
to
to
you
see
all.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sasa.
Thank you for watching The Gab Show. Don't worry, our host will be right back. Isn't this exciting? Community TV is not what it used to be. We produce quality content and for your enjoyment. This holiday season, you have an opportunity to tell the Central New Jersey region and beyond about your business, service, holiday products, or even an event on The Gab Show. We make it really easy to help you tell your story. For more information, contact me, April Setti. Now we have to get back to the show. They're ready to start. Again, thank you for watching, and make sure to help us promote our show by sharing and telling your friends to watch. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook group page and Instagram.
Welcome back to the Gab Show. Of course, all of you know Princeton because of the university. But today we have a special guest with us, Mimi from the Princeton Tour Company, and she knows all about Princeton and what goes in it. Mimi!
I love that intro. So we're going to start this line. I like it. This is my wheelhouse.
Oh, absolutely. Mimi, you are really an icon into Princeton area, and you do a fantastic job. And I know all of you can say the same. And welcome on the set today.
It's such an honor. It really is. I'm so impressed. And I've been getting to know the production crew in the back. I mean, this is like a operation.
It is.
I'm just going to get out of the way. I'm a little nervous. So thank you for the breathing techniques. You guys are
Welcome to the Gab. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you. I do
Relax.
feel welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very nice.
So, of course, we know all about the university, but what you do around Princeton and taking people and touring them and making them discover a side of Princeton, where did that passion start?
Well, a lot of it started because I had traveled a lot. I'm old. So I'm older. Okay, older. And when I got pregnant, they told ladies like me down south that your baby wouldn't love you if you still worked. And so I left my corporate job to raise my son, which was so much fun. And my husband's job was global for a while. So I would just tag along. And so I was that girl that was like in the hotel waiting on him to go to his big meeting, and then I would just wait, and then I would go and explore the town.
Lucky
And
you.
so it was good work if you can get it, right? So I kind of became a student of communities. And so then Steve would do the work, and then he'd take a day off, and then I was his tour guide. And so I learned really quickly how to absorb a town quickly. And back then there was taxi drivers, and I would go to what looked like the friendliest taxi driver, where I don't care where I was,
Just drive.
Thailand, it didn't matter where, London, Paris, doesn't matter, right? And I would say, I'm going to hire you for the day. And so I was like Jackie O, and I would say, because they would take me to the back end. They know what's going on in the town. And so some places it was more expensive than others, right? So the first day I'd say, take me where the tourists go. So I would see it, and then if we got along, I'd hire them for the second day, and I'd say, now take me where you wish they'd go.
And the
And that's
great
how-
line.
it's a fun way to do
Yeah.
it, right? So when I landed in Princeton, Steve's job changed. and they said, you're going to move to New Jersey. Now, I had never been to your fair state before, and I cried big old boo-boo tears. I did not want to live in New Jersey. Was not excited about it at all.
Not hot enough.
It gets so much more.
I mean, it's the best kept secret.
It is.
You almost hate to tell
There you
people
go. I
how
like
cool
that.
it is because they'd all come. But at any rate, so we spent a long weekend at the Nassau Inn,
Yes.
and
Beautiful place.
it was
Oh, I know
it.
that.
I fell in love. I believe in love at first sight. It happened to me in meeting my husband, and it really did. And,
You met
and
Lori Ray Bond there?
Lori Raybon, the general manager. She's been there a long
been there all
time.
these
She knows
years.
everything about Princeton. But I just fell in love. And so luckily, the company he was with at the time said, hey, just if you want to live in Princeton, just live in Princeton.
Nice.
So I did the exact same thing. It was back when the taxi stand was in front of Nassau Hall. And I did the exact, I hired the taxi guy, and I said, take me, and then I said, take me where you wish they'd go. And I figured out
that.
really quickly,
Yeah.
I got to live on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we bought a really small place, but it's right at the intersection of Witherspoon and Nassau Street. It looks out on Nassau Hall. And I fell in love with the town.
I've been there one time.
Mhm.
So yeah, you do so much. You do ghost tours, you do historical tours. Tell us what the people coming in, the locals, love. So there's people that are coming in that are touring, which you do the general tours. We want to hear more about that. But how about the locals? Is there things that they love that are hidden gems, like you said, hidden secrets
Yes.
that locals just
I think the
enjoy?
locals, I think what makes Princeton unique for people who get to live here,
Mhm.
right, is that you have so much accessible to you right in this little walkable area, right?
Mhm.
I've got a movie theater that's like going to Sundance at Princeton Garden
Mhm.
Theater.
I agree.
Mhm.
McCarter Theater's the busiest regional theater in America. The Arts Council, listen, they punch way above their weight of what
Mhm.
you'd expect for a neighborhood council. The public library, the speakers they bring in, because
Yeah.
the university shares their powerful connections with our town. People say if you go to every speaker at the Princeton Public Library, it's like going to a community college.
Wow.
It's really
That's
pretty
excellent to hear.
tremendous. So you've got these incredible assets, not to mention there's Princeton University where you
Mhm.
can audit a class or you can see performances at Richardson Auditorium, right?
Mhm.
Where acoustics inside are second only to Carnegie Hall. If you ever get a chance to,
Wow.
the Carillon Bell over at the Graduate every Sunday, they
Mhm.
play those bells. And it's so cool because it's so Princeton. It's only a few people on the planet can even play the Carillon.
Yeah.
But the last few songs are always pop songs. So if you bring your family, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's Taylor Swift." It's
a new release.
right. So it's just
Wow.
the kind of town where it can be so super, super sparkly.
Mm.
But then if you live here, it's Mayberry
Mm.
and
Yeah.
or Gilmore
Love
Girls
that.
Town.
Oh, I
It
love
really,
Gilmore
it
Girls.
really
It
is.
really is. I agree with
And I
that.
think, sorry.
Yeah, no.
I can totally
So,
see.
I was like,
the
okay,
passion
no, you
in
gotta
her
stop me.
voice, like-
No, it's diagnosable. So it's
Okay,
good. It's good. No.
So talking about that, you talk about the celebrities. So how do you spot them?
Well, it's changed over time. I've been doing this now 15 years. And when I first started, it was the taxi drivers.
Again,
And
those
they
taxi
would-
They
drivers.
spotted them for you, or
Because it was
They tell you
pre-Uber.
what's
It was
going on.
pre-Uber.
Right.
okay?
Facebook wasn't even as big of a
Existing.
deal, DM
Right.
and all that stuff. So literally, those guys would be like, "Hey, you know who's in town?"
Ah.
And I'd be like, "Really? Where?" Right? And then because of where I live, I got to know all the rest. The waiters, the bus boys. I mean, I know all those folks, right?
Right.
And just an insider tidbit: if you ever see me post on Facebook and say "so and so in town right now,"
Right.
they've actually left.
I ran one
You
time.
didn't hear that.
It's too late
And
for you to see
I know,
them,
but it's
right?
because I'll lose my people if I out them too
I
quick.
think
like
I
that.
I think I saw the post in Palmer Square, and I went to see Matt Damon, and he was
Yes,
gone. And I was like in the coffee shop,
I
and
know.
I went out, and he was
I'm so
gone. I couldn't
It's
find him.
Actually, George was, you better run, you better run.
no,
He's
no.
right there.
You gotta
Really?
DM me.
You
I'll
have
tell
to
you
keep
the
the
truth.
secrets
I'll
because
tell-
if they get
So we
bombarded
need like
and
a-
you outed
They
them,
won't
that
tell
would be
you.
great.
They won't
tell
wait
you
till you
anymore.
next time
And then
they're in
for a
town.
while,
Yeah.
That's so
I
funny.
probably should. This was years ago, so I hope they don't get mad. But like the caddies at Yasna,
Mhm.
because a lot of really
I
famous
know.
people play golf.
Oh,
there.
absolutely. That's a
And
place to be.
now we've all been around long enough. They're DMing. Sometimes I get like little sticky notes on my door.
Oh, like who's in town?
Yes, so-and-so's going to be here
beautiful.
tomorrow.
You're the only one that I see
Wow.
that posts the celebrity sightings, and I love it.
Just so
That's
funny.
really why we brought you on the show.
I know, right?
But it sounds like now we need you to personally text us while
Yes.
you're
Funny,
seeing
yes,
that.
yes,
So
that's
we
right.
can at least get to see those celebrities, right?
Well, I will say I've had to sign some NDAs, that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
So non-disclosure, like and I can't tell you, Gab. Forget it.
No.
No.
We'll talk after the show.
Afterwards,
You know me. I make my way in.
You do actually.
yeah. So you're doing all of the touring and you're showing everybody where some good places are and things like that. Do you have any favorite locations or spots that you like to go to yourself? And then have you found that there's a more favorable spot for the people who are looking?
You know, it sounds so corny, but my favorite, whether it's a subject in history or a new fact, it's whatever I just learned about. It really is my favorite, you know.
Okay.
It never gets old going to Nassau Hall and, of course, the chapel and all that kind of thing. But if you've seen the new dormitories at the basic campus now, they've just got some new installations that have come in for the outdoor sculpture. And if you haven't seen it, one is like this huge pink couch.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And another is a huge pink picnic table.
No, we didn't see.
Oh,
And another is
nice.
this almost Barbie doll inspired living room set.
Huh.
So you always want to ask why.
Yeah.
Because then you'll learn everything
What's
in
that
Princeton.
about?
Wow, what is that? Why they put that there?
Yeah,
Well,
why?
because a lot of the students who are going to Princeton now are first generation, right? And a lot of them never even left home before. So when the artist decided, what are we going to put in this new area that is a lot of freshman housing? We need to put objects that feel homey. What does everybody have? A sofa.
Yeah.
You know, a living room, kitchen area, you know, a picnic table. So, and if you, I think if somebody just made a full-time job out of the art installations on campus, it really reveals the history and the focus and the dedication of the university. They really are in the business of being the nation's service of all humanity. It's just a heady place. So
Yeah.
it's hard not to be inspired.
Mimi, how about Princeton Pie Day? It's such a big thing in Princeton and Einstein Alley and all of everything that goes with that. That brings in a lot of tourists. Tell us a little bit more about those type of events.
It did, especially pre-COVID. You know, this
Yes.
we're going to have in person again this year. So Einstein was born on March 14th, 3.14, the numeric equivalent of pi. It's a pretty quirky coincidence.
It
And
is.
so what we do is we celebrate the Saturday before the actual Pi Day because we have so many people that want to be part of the celebration.
Right.
So we've
Okay.
got like an Einstein lookalike contest, and the whomever wins gets $314.15 because that's the numbers of pi.
That's pretty cool.
We also do a youth and pi recitation contest, and that's the only one on earth that actually has prize money for youth participants. And then this year we're going to do a pie sampling at Lily Pies. There's pie throwing
nice.
at McCaffrey's. You know, the list goes on and on. And then on Tuesdays, just because most kids are in school, the actual 3.14, we do give tours that day, but we are going to have like a pub crawl and things like that. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah.
How does someone find out about like all those?
If you
events
just
that are
go
coming up?
to Google Princeton Pie Day, and it
Okay.
comes up real fast.
It does.
It does.
Okay.
It's people love it, and we're lucky to be able to offer it.
Mimi, where do you find your inspiration to create all those tours, those events? Where do you find them?
I mean, the best ideas are stolen, to be honest.
I
like that.
And, you know, that is the
Yeah.
truth. You
Yeah.
can't
It's a nice
repeat itself.
compliment to
Right.
what started it, to
some
carry
of
that
it,
legacy.
it's really started out just like, oh wow, I kept meeting so many interesting people and bragging to my friends, and my friends were like, just start a tour business. So then I started that. Well, honestly, then I was kind of like a business lady, you know? And then I was like, well, how do tour companies work? And they're like, oh, ghost tours, you got to get in ghost tours. It was never part of my life bucket to be
yourself.
a ghost tour guide, no, or a paranormal investigator. But when I kind of thought, okay, other tour operators do this. How can I do this in a Princeton way? So we contacted Weird New Jersey. They did paranormal investigations. They authenticated all the hot spots. I learned how to use dowsing rods and thermometers and EMF. Oh yeah,
You're a real pro over here.
How
Okay.
darling is this town, right?
All right.
They lost their mind and gave me a key to the cemetery.
Oh, you can
And
really
so
get in
after
there.
we do all that, well, it's not meant to be. What we try and do is we've got the ghost stories that are real, verifiable,
Okay.
and then we use the paranormal equipment. Then we take it down a notch, and then it's just celebrating lives
Nice.
in the cemetery. But it's
Okay.
Aaron Burr Jr. is buried in there. You've got the richest kid to ever go to Princeton. We've got Nobel Prize winners. They see Grover Cleveland, the president, and that's all within
So
an
you're
hour and a half.
celebrating their
That's
life.
excellent.
And they're there. That's
So
amazing.
your
Yeah.
question about how do you get the inspiration to do all this? Most of it's just I'm in love with it, and then the other.
I can totally hear that.
Yeah, I do.
we feel
But
that.
then the other is that I do kind of look at these other tour operators. I'm like, well,
Okay.
what's working for y'all?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
And
These
you
those
talk
ideas.
a little bit behind the scene that of course you as well needed to transform a little bit after the pandemic.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, Princeton, they were very, very careful about reopening, and rightfully so. So when we did come back, we made sure all the folks in town, Morven, the Historical Society, anybody that we were interacting with, that it was actually great. They were excited to see us back on the sidewalk. So we were a little later to get back than the average bear.
How about the fundraiser to save the Paul Roebling House? Tell us a little bit about
Oh,
that.
yes.
If you're willing
so
to share.
I couldn't
The
believe it.
inside.
Well, it's a little bit like getting invited on the Gab show. I'm like, okay, really? Who
No.
canceled? Who canceled? Okay, sure. I'll throw on a
We're
blazer and
excited
go.
for you to be here too.
No, you're sweet.
Nobody canceled. Your spot
That's
was
right.
given.
But no, IVN, this is a smart little business idea. IVN was like, hey, Wednesdays, we want to get new people coming in. And so they created guest bartender night. And so they said, well, I didn't want to be the one that didn't show up with the group, right? So I was like, okay, I told my friends, I'll buy your first round. Just come. They're calling me a celebrity bartender. Just show up. And I was just so excited that they were adamant all the tips would go to a local nonprofit. And, Paul Robeson was the first African-American to perform on Broadway, Old Man River, All God's Children Got Wings, that kind of thing. Well, he was born in Princeton. And so they're trying to refurbish his house right next to the Arts Council. And it's not that big of a lift. So if everybody can kind of take a look at the Paul Robeson house and maybe give a little money to that.
Oh,
That's
that's
this is my-
amazing.
Yeah.
That's why.
Please donate to the Paul Robeson house. It's not that big a lift, and you could probably get it
It's
done
not.
before the holiday season's over.
And the celebrity bartender.
Excellent.
Actually, this Wednesday, they're doing celebrity bartending for Homefront from 6 to 8 at the Ivy,
I'll
which
be
just,
there.
just sparked that. And
Yes.
so I think that's a great way to see the people that run the organizations, the volunteers, and to raise money in one night and have fun doing it. So that's great that you did the Paul Robeson there too.
Yeah.
So good
Oh,
work,
I'm glad I'll be
Mimi.
there Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So you have you filmed a movie on campus?
No, let's
That-
get that rumor started.
Okay.
No, I never filmed a movie on
Okay,
campus, but I stalk a lot of celebrities that film on campus. So a lot of famous movies on campus. Of course, everybody knows Beautiful Mind and IQ and Transformers 2, Admission, Runner, Son of a Woman. A lot of famous movies. The most recent one, I think, is Oppenheimer. Oh, and you're seeing here. So this is how I get some of my insider stuff. This is filmed from inside a classroom. One of the students DM'd me and said, hey, they're filming on campus. If you want to see Matt Damon and Robert Downey Jr. and the director of Batman, come on over. So we were in the classroom, and that was part of that video. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't meet Matt Damon.
They invited you over.
I know. But I did get to meet Christopher Nolan, the director.
Oh well.
Oh,
And
there you
he gave you all 3 Batman.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you should come here.
And we should. We'll try
We
and get him.
should.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, get this, he did a class day speech on campus, and the campus was excited because it's, the director of Batman.
Yeah.
So they had Dan Link, the guy that runs all of archives. All the students were in the chapel. He opens these doors. Now think like an archivist,
Right, right, yeah.
He had a briefcase handcuffed to his arm,
Right.
handcuffed to the briefcase. He goes all the way down, and then he presented to Christopher Nolan, that famous director, the fact that Batman really attended Princeton.
Whoa!
It's in the comic book. He did.
That's right.
He
That's
really
right.
did.
I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
He only went for a couple of months, but then he dropped out to fight
Still
crime.
counts.
Because
Right.
that's
He's
a
an
full-time
alum.
job.
That's a
Fighting
full-time
crime.
job for sure.
And Dean Cain went to Princeton. That's the cute Superman. And of course, Christopher Reeve grew up in Princeton.
Yes,
Cute
that's
Superman.
amazing.
Mm.
Yes, yes.
True Superman.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
I like
What
that.
are the other celebrities?
Well, I mean, everybody
always
is pretty fascinated with the types of really famous actors and actresses that we come out of Princeton. So I've mentioned Dean Cain and that kind of thing, but we got like Brooke Shields and Ellie Kempert.
And Brooke Shields graduated from Princeton.
She did. Ellie Kempert did too. David Duchovny, Wentworth Miller. The list goes on and on. Outside the gates, Ethan Hawke went to Hunn here in Princeton. John Lithgow, a lot of people don't know he went to the high school. His daddy was the artistic director for McCarter Theater. Which
I
is,
have got to take your
no, you don't.
I'm
I'll just DM y'all when people
Oh my
like
God, I gotta get your
when
information. You
when
gotta
people
give me
like
a tour.
Damien Chazelle comes in town, because I do know Damien.
absolutely.
Like he did Whiplash and La La Land, and
Wow.
so once you get to know, and he went to our high school, so it's a little bit like when you go back where you grew up, right? And you know how you love your hometown. I think I kind of get away with it a little because I didn't grow up in Princeton and I didn't go to Princeton University, so it's a little bit like I can get away with being a little braggadocious.
Exactly.
And so,
I like it.
yeah. It's okay to love it.
I like it a lot.
That's
It's
why
okay to
locals
love
sometimes
Princeton.
miss the opportunities that I said about locals not really exhibiting, going out and doing all the
Yeah.
fun things that tours come. I think that's important to share that we live in this area and we still can have
And
just as much
I'm in
fun as the
Princeton
tourists.
like every day. I actually
Yes.
have to go pick up my daughter because she goes to school to a school in Princeton.
Yeah.
I'm there every day. McCarter Theater, you mentioned, she's been in
Oh,
like
so cute.
recitals and things there. The library, we're always there. But I'm never there like
long enough.
being there. Like
Yeah.
you're like it seems you're there. You're there to be
Yeah,
there.
it's-
To
Right.
highlight
You know?
what's going on. To highlight
Oh,
what's
I
going
love
on.
it.
Like I said
Yes, right.
earlier, it's a little diagnosable. I get out.
I'm a fan.
Luckily, there's a train in town. I can get to 2 major airports in New York City.
I gotta get me a cab driver.
That's it.
right.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
more
yeah,
cab
yeah.
driver.
Yeah.
When I go away, I'm gonna get a cab.
I tell you
driver.
what,
When I go to Princeton, I'm gonna
No,
see
no,
you.
yes,
When
you
we
gotta
cut
go
to break,
see him.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm gonna see
I'm gonna
you in
share. I'm gonna
Princeton.
share
I'm
with
in
you.
Academy when I go out.
Mimi, Thanksgiving, how do you
Thanks.
celebrate?
Oh, my family's coming over, but I don't cook. I order. This
Okay.
year, I do from any restaurant in Princeton because we've got everything. I got a James Beard nominated chef, and we got every kind of restaurant you can imagine in town. But this year, I'm doing Christine's.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
because they're doing like a whole
Right.
meal thing. So
Great.
every year I do a different. You don't want to eat my cooking.
Yeah. I'm gonna support the local.
No.
Support the local.
Why not?
Yeah, why
Come
not?
to my house.
Wait, you said you're from down
I
south.
know,
You're
yeah, I
supposed
know.
to have the
Southern
down.
down.
Southern
down.
cooking thing down.
My son will tell you. My son will say I make the best scrambled eggs. But some of his first words were, "What'd you burn for dinner?"
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really-
Just
Oh.
so easy.
I get
So
that
easy
with
to
baking.
so.
Wow.
That's rough.
Thank you, Mimi.
Mimi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, we
Dawn,
really enjoyed you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Mimi. So good to see you
Thank
again.
you.
It's been
You
a long
too.
time.
Yeah,
And
no.
we are going to come right back. And when we get back, we'll talk about a little sports mania. There's a lot of exciting things happening in this area.
Hi, it's me again. Well, in case you didn't hear the first message, just wanted to let you know what opportunities the Gab Show has for you this holiday season. Isn't this exciting? Community TV is not what it used to be. We produce quality content and for your enjoyment. This holiday season, you have an opportunity to tell the Central New Jersey region and beyond about your business, service, holiday products, or even an event on The Gab Show. We make it really easy to help you tell your story. For more information, contact me, April Setti. Now we have to get back to the show. They're ready to start. Again, thank you for watching, and make sure to help us promote our show by sharing and telling your friends to watch. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook group page and Instagram.
Hey, welcome back to the Gab Show. We are going to talk sports. If you're a sports fan,
Love sports. We're so sporty.
You're a sports fan. There are a lot of very exciting things happening in this area. But before that, we want to make sure we remind everyone that today is Election Day. So make sure you get out the vote if you haven't already. Don't forget to vote.
Every vote counts. So get out there.
yeah.
My daughter's turning 18 years old, so she can vote today. So we're so excited about that.
Oh, nice.
It's time to vote. So
Vote.
don't forget locally
Vote.
here. Locally
Vote.
makes
a big difference. I know nationally, sometimes people say their votes don't count, but locally, it really is a close race for
Definitely
many
does.
individuals across the state. I heard the polls were down this morning in Mercer County, but I'm sure they're up, and they had to do the old-fashioned ballots this morning at 7:00 when they opened up, and I'm sure it's all rectified because we have a great
Yeah.
county here in Mercer County. But the Phillies, how about that?
The Phillies. Let's talk about the Eagles,
let's talk
though. Because
They are a
I
little better
like,
than
I know,
there.
I like Jalen Hurts, the quarterback. Have you been following?
I know that the Eagles are
They won 8.
number one in
8-0.
division.
8-0.
Number
Okay,
one
so
division,
3-0.
8-0.
3-0.
They are looking very, very good. We're in the ninth week, so they got a really good shot at the big game, as they say.
Yeah.
so best start, and what is amazing, you have the Eagles, you have also all the other team, the Giants, the Jets, whatever, and
Yes.
this is like unique to our time.
It
So
is.
sport. Do you watch sport, Ty?
I watch some. I am a Giants fan. Me and Melissa were talking about this
I'm an
the other
Eagles
day.
fan.
She's an Eagles fan.
I'm
so
an
she got
And the
Eagles
me-
Dolphins.
fan.
Also, I
got
like
me on the
Dolphins.
beat here. They're maybe third in the division, but it's exciting because it could still go either way. We're in week 9. We got a few more weeks left before the playoffs. So
Yeah, they're undefeated in the NFL, which is great.
Yes.
Undefeated, and then
she
the
jabs
other.
me with the undefeated.
Yeah, I know, undefeated.
The
That
other
is something
division
special, though, to be
is doing well.
undefeated.
So we're going to see. My whole goal would be that the Eagles play the Dolphins.
Oh,
Because
that's
they're my
both
two
your
teams.
teams.
They're
Yeah,
my-
both your
Yeah.
teams.
They
That'd be
come from
great.
different divisions. They play together.
could play.
And I don't know who I would vote for. But the Phillies in the World Series
Oh,
against
yeah.
the Astros was unbelievable.
That
I really
was
thought
so
they
great.
haven't won the World Series. Well, they did in
So
2008. But before that, it was in the 80s when I was just a little tot.
Ah.
Mike Schmidt and Larry Boa and all of those guys.
I was
And
in the
I'm still
80s. You would
fans.
say you were just a twinkle in
Yeah,
your
I was.
parents'
I think I
eyes.
was even born.
Yeah, that's the way I would
Yeah.
go.
So, but that it was that close after all of these years since
Yeah.
2008, and it was the one game they had 5 home runs. It was the third game they had 5
Mhm.
home runs, and we were like, they're going to win it. They're on fire. It's great.
And
The
then
next game, they got absolutely no hits in the whole entire
Yeah.
game. How crazy is that? That was the 4th game, I believe, and it was like they 5
They
home runs,
could've
and then they didn't
got
get
it over
any
the
hits.
hump
It was
if
like
they would have
the
did
pitcher
better.
there on the Astros was striking everybody out. He was just unbelievable. He was so proud too. It was just to see.
And
I
the
was happy
rain out
for
kind of
him.
messed up their rhythm
did.
too when they got rained
It did.
out. So it's
So,
kind of messed up.
I
their
am a
rhythm.
jump on the bandwagon. I go to
Ah.
one Phillies game a year with my daughter, and I love it. But I
Nice.
don't, I don't watch it unless they're winning. I have to be honest.
I mean, you're not the only one, right?
I'm not the only
You're
one.
not the only
I'm not
one.
going to
There's many
say
people
that.
that do
But
that.
sports is really big in my house.
So I think sports, it's an American thing for me.
Mhm.
So it is, right? So it's
We
like.
can rope you in. We can get
Okay,
you.
Yeah,
I
we'll
know.
get
My
you.
son tries. Actually, all the notes I have on football comes from him.
But
Yeah.
but you being with the two of us, you
But
have both
I'm-
ends of.
You can get
I
really
know,
sporty.
but what I
Yeah.
like about it is the family. You know what it brings out of the family, or what it brings out of your
Yeah.
friends, and
Excitement
Yeah,
of
you
rooting
know that
together.
routine together,
Yeah.
being together,
Mhm.
eating together, drinking together. So that's what I like too about sport. Even if you're not a big fan.
Yeah,
I
you can just hang out.
You can hang
when
out,
someone has the
right?
game on, you
Yeah.
can just go
Towards
there.
the
and-
end and see the final and say,
Yeah.
I saw it too. I was watching it.
I was there. I
You know,
was in there.
And in the World Series, too, I have to say the Astros coach was only the third, Dusty Baker, black coach to make it to the World Series, and I think that's
Oh,
very
yeah.
significant.
I didn't
too.
know that.
Yeah.
And I like my little fun
Pretty
facts,
good.
So
You do
I like
like
you
your fun
educated
facts.
me. I
So
appreciate
based on
that.
fun facts, I'm gonna say, the Giants are 6-2 and the Jets are 6-3. So all Mercer County favorites pro football team are doing
Yeah.
great.
Doing
Big
great.
Blue.
Big.
We're not
All
undefeated.
right.
Like
We're
these
not
guys,
on
but
it.
I'm
And it's
still
interesting
excited
because
for
from
it.
this area, because it's New
I
York, it's
know.
Philly, and New Jersey.
That is
people
what
are
is
divided
amazing.
in who
Mercer
they vote
County.
for. Mercer
Mercer
County.
I know.
County.
No matter what part of the
My
county you're from,
my
they vote for
neighbor,
somebody
however, are
different.
for New York
See?
teams. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm New York. She's
Ah,
Yeah,
there
that's
you
how it
go.
works. You can go anywhere in Mercer County. That's another reason why Central is
Yeah.
so beautiful.
It is.
I still like basketball the best.
I love that.
So,
Because of your son.
whoever watching out there, drop it into the comment box. What is your favorite team? Who is your favorite team?
Yeah.
Who do you want to see going through this year in 2022? But let's talk. This was an amazing story with the food pantry and everything, and 85% of hunger taken care of. We're going towards the holiday season. And here is our producer. Okay, and we're going to gobble, gobble, gobble.
Oh, I thought you have to
no, I don't have
So we have the turkey
That's
tries that are
beautiful.
going on in this area, and there's so many on Thanksgiving Day.
Are you
There's
gonna go?
one that actually, I can't do it. There's one that's in Mercer County.
Give it to Todd.
Here, Todd.
All
One
right,
that's in
I'll
Mercer
try
County
it.
Park, and
Let's
it
see.
started out 10 years ago, so small, and now there's hundreds and hundreds of people that come on Thanksgiving Day, and all of the
Turkey
proceeds
trot.
go to the turkey trot, go to the local food banks, and it's good for the family and the kids, and it's just an amazing event. And there's so many of them throughout the county, and I'm so glad I don't have it on. But I love
Oh, my
turkey.
goodness.
I've never done one, but I know
This is the
this year.
support
But
we'll
people
give.
can work off. And then they can eat as much as they want during the day. That's why
That's
people
right.
like doing it on Thanksgiving.
Well-
It's for a good cause. It's feeding people that are hungry. Then they get their exercise in the morning, and then in the afternoon they can eat whatever they
And
want.
They can have
then-
an
The other
extra
people.
plate.
And
that
you
they
can
buy
get an
extra
extra plate, but
Yeah.
also what is, like you say, Melissa, it is always to support a nonprofit.
Yes.
Always.
But
That's
when
the
I
beauty
was
of it.
reading about it, it started in Buffalo in 1896 with 6 participants.
Oh.
6. And now
Now?
today they have like 14,000 runners,
Yeah.
up to
Wow.
14,000 runners per race, because now it's going all over the place. It was
Yeah.
Buffalo, but it's
Yeah,
all over the
everywhere.
country.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is great again that story that we talk about football, we talk about food, and now we're talking about
Feeding the
running
hungry.
and
Yeah.
feeding the hungry.
Raising
but
money for
all is
nonprofits.
that family
It's beautiful.
core. It's beautiful. So Ty, what are
Okay.
you doing for Thanksgiving?
Well, it hasn't been determined yet, but we usually are the hosts, the family hosts. So we usually have people coming in and out. I'm the cook, so I will probably do the turkey and basting and the
How
chopping.
do you do the
and
turkey? Do you do it in the stove, or do you do it outside and you fry it?
No,
Tell us your
you know what?
secret,
I would
Ty.
love to fry a turkey. I've never done it.
We're gonna do it on the smoker.
I've never
We
done
did
it. I'd love
last
to do
year
it,
on
though.
this big smoker outside. My boyfriend does the
That's-
smoker.
that's
I do all the
great.
side dishes, and he does
Okay.
the smoking of the turkey outside. So
Nice.
really, and it takes hours and hours. So,
But the
it's,
frying is
I gotta step up my game.
that frying's very hard. Yeah,
Very
all the
hard,
oil
but
spilling over-
fast.
It's fast.
Yeah.
Super smoker, it's all
I'm gonna
good, it's
try
so
it one
tender.
day.
crispy.
One
Yeah.
year. I always think about it late. So
Right.
like I think there's some prep work in there.
Okay.
I was
So I'm in the
get out
oven.
of doing it this year, but my
No,
mom,
no,
my mom was like,
no,
"Oh no, you've done it
no,
for
no,
22
no.
years now. It wouldn't be the same.
No, no,
Everyone likes to
no.
congregate at your house. I'm
That's
just gonna
right.
maybe go out to eat or just hop around at different
You're gonna
people's
host?
houses.
No,
I host 22 years. This is like the 22nd
You're gonna do it again
year.
this
Oh,
year?
I am. My mom really wanted me to.
You have
yes,
to.
you have
Great. It wouldn't be
to.
the same without me. So
Your
No.
I'm gonna
best
say
shot is the
Thanksgiving now too. No, I'm
25th.
kidding. You know how I say.
Hey, save Halloween!
Hey,
right?
say hello. Oh, you watched the show.
Yeah.
Next time to save
Beautiful.
the election. I don't know what I'm
Oh,
going
no,
to
okay.
And what about you, Dad?
Me,
Yeah,
mashed
what's your
potato.
Yeah, you
What?
love the mashed potatoes.
The
at your
mashed
That's what you
dish?
make, or that's what you love to eat? Yeah, you're
We like
very
the mashed
vague there.
potatoes.
Oh, first of all, let me tell you one thing. Mashed potato in my house is made from, big
Potatoes, mashing potatoes. like
Scratch. You
Yeah,
don't
Scratch.
from
take the box.
scratch.
Yeah,
Don't
from
No,
take the box.
don't take the box.
You
And
can
it
tell when
comes
people
from
fake it.
mom's recipe.
oh,
from
so
friends.
you make it.
Yeah, I do make it. So mashed
Alright.
potato. We unfortunately like a very small family, so turkey is not our centerpiece. So but Thanksgiving for us is really the time to be together.
Yeah, the family. Though.
So
yeah.
the family, we only the 3 of us, and we are tight like this during
Alright.
Is it
Thanksgiving.
just the three of you?
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
the
so you
3
have
of
these
us.
great conversations and all that
Yeah.
for the three of
Yeah,
you.
that's right. That's right.
Okay.
My
And
dishes
mashed
are-
potato.
Yeah, ours,
Because they all love mashed potatoes.
All right.
They don't like the beans.
I actually do love mashed
I feel like
potatoes.
it's hard to fit the mashed potatoes. I like the sweet potatoes, but the mashed potatoes I have somebody else bring. It's just a lot of work to do that. I do all of these other side dishes. And I'm thinking about using paper
gonna
plates
bring you
this
some
year
mashed
because the
potato.
dishes, I have like 17 people or 18 people, and the
Yeah.
dishes just keep going. Like the appetizers, the main meal, the dessert.
Get some
But I did want to
quality
mention one
food.
thing that Dress for Success is having an event on November 30th.
Oh,
Cocktails for
tell the
Cause,
people
and the
about
Gab
that.
will be
Tell the
there.
people about
So
that.
we
That's
have
beautiful.
clients that are messaging about what they've done to be successful in their life. And we have Sarah, who wrote a book
Mhm.
that went through Designing Your Future program. She became an adjunct professor going through the Designing Your Future workforce development program, got a job, and then she went to college for journalism, and she wrote a book that is a bestseller. And we are going to
Excellent.
display and have a book signing, and we're going to have many other clients talking about the 15-year history of Dress for Success. Served 15,000 people. We have 4 offices, and
Oh.
we've expanded from years ago when we were struggling with funding and
Mhm.
community participation. So the Gab's going to be there. They're going to be reporting on site November 30th, Yasna Polana.
All
It's
right.
going to be a great night. So
That's
thank you
what I
for
was gonna
supporting.
ask.
Everyone
Yeah.
come join us.
That's
November
right. You're
30th.
there, right?
You're there.
I'll be there.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So don't miss it. Watch it. Support. Fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
I think that's all the great things that are going on the Gab today. So we thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
We thank our
Great
guests that
show.
really enlightened us. It was a great show. And get out there and do those turkey trots. April Setti, our producer, loves those more than anything. And there's plenty of them throughout the
Hence
state.
hats.
And you can see the hats that they wore. So again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and get out there and
Thanksgiving.
exercise and contribute to those great charities and join Dress for Success, Central New Jersey's event, November 30th.
November 30th. And remember, if you missed this show or want to watch any other show, go to our archive at Central New Jersey's centralnewjerseynetwork.org, and you can see all the past show. Otherwise, always follow us on Facebook, CNJN Facebook, and watch on our streaming Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon. Happy holiday to you all. See you next time.
See you
All
next
right.
time.
See you next
Bye.
time. Thanks.